For decades, the royal family's narrative was carefully curated, filled with polished images of perfect marriages, charming children, and carefully orchestrated public appearances. But there were always cracks beneath the surface, whispers of a secret letter from Princess Diana that some claimed held the key to understanding the tumultuous lives of her sons, William and Harry. It was said to be hidden away, a mysterious document too dangerous to be revealed, one that may have predicted the choices both princes would make in their lives, choices that would either uphold or break the monarchy. As rumors about the letter persisted over the years, few took them seriously. Some thought it was just another myth, a piece of royal gossip spun by those who wanted to keep Diana's memory alive. But in 2024, the impossible happened. The letter, a lost relic from Diana's final years, surfaced. And its contents. They were more shocking and prophetic than anyone could have imagined. The letter, discovered in a private collection that had remained hidden for years, was not a typical family correspondence. It was not just another "I love you" note or casual words of advice. This was something far more potent. This letter was a heartfelt and desperate plea from a mother who, sensing her time was running out, wanted to ensure her sons, William and Harry, were prepared for what lay ahead. From the moment Diana married Prince Charles, she had been trapped in a gilded cage. She was the world's most adored woman, yet the monarchy required her to sacrifice her own happiness for the image of the family. Duty before happiness. A mantra that Diana would fight against every step of the way. She knew what it felt like to be suffocated by the royal expectations placed upon her, and she feared that, one day, her sons would be subjected to the same pressures, the same sacrifices. The letter she wrote in 1997, the year of her tragic death, was a final attempt to warn them, to make sure they didn't fall into the same trap she had. In the letter, Diana expressed her fear that William, the heir to the throne, would be consumed by his royal duties, leaving no room for personal happiness. She saw the toll the crown would take on him, the constant pressure, the burden of expectation, and the loss of personal freedom that came with it. It was heartbreaking to read her words, knowing that she had already predicted the sacrifices he would make. She also feared for Harry, the heir to the throne. Harry, who had always lived in his older brother's shadow, would struggle to find his own identity within the monarchy. The palace had no clear role for him, and he would be caught in the dangerous trap of being expected to serve without a purpose. Diana's words about Harry were particularly poignant. She worried that he would feel lost, as though his value was tied to his royal title rather than his worth as a person. "You are more than just princes," Diana wrote. "You are my sons first. Never let them take that away from you." These words carried a heavy weight, Diana's plea for her sons to remember that they were more than their royal duties, more than the roles they had been born into. But more chillingly, Diana expressed a sense of finality in her letter. "I don't know if I will ever get the chance to say this," she wrote. "If anything happens to me, know that my love for you will never fade. I will always be with you." It was as though she had already sensed the inevitable, that she would not live to see her sons become the men they would one day be. The most baffling question about this letter is not just its contents, but the fact that it remained hidden for so long. Why was it kept under wraps? Why didn't Diana's sons receive it immediately after her tragic death? Why was the public, the very people Diana had devoted her life to, kept in the dark about her final wishes? Royal insiders have speculated for years that the letter was deliberately kept from the public. Diana had always been a controversial figure, a woman who was never afraid to speak her mind and challenge the monarchy's traditions. This letter, with its raw honesty and bold message, could have shattered the carefully controlled image the royal family had worked so hard to cultivate. It didn't fit with the royal narrative of duty, tradition, and service. It threatened to expose the darker, more human side of the monarchy. Some believe the letter was hidden to protect the royal family's image, to prevent Diana's personal thoughts from casting a shadow over the monarchy. After all, Her words encouraged her sons to choose happiness over duty, a direct challenge to the very foundation of the institution they were born into. Such a message could have led to an uproar, especially at a time when the royal family was already under intense scrutiny following Diana's death. Others argue that the letter was kept from William and Harry out of respect for them. The royal family is known for guarding personal correspondence with great secrecy, and this letter, containing such intimate and vulnerable thoughts, may have been considered too private to share immediately. But the longer the letter remained hidden, the more it became a source of intrigue, fueling rumors and speculation about what Diana's final words had been. The timing of its rediscovery is particularly curious. Why, after so many years, has it been revealed now? Could it be that there are those within the royal family who believe that it's finally time for the truth to come out? Or is the letter's public unveiling part of a larger narrative, one that continues to reshape the story of Diana's legacy? The letter Diana wrote in 1997 was a message that transcended time, and looking at William and Harry today, it's impossible to ignore how eerily accurate her predictions were. Diana feared that William would be trapped by his royal responsibilities, losing himself in the weight of the crown. And indeed, William has followed in the footsteps of his ancestors, assuming his royal duties with grace and determination. But at what cost? William's role as the future king means that every decision he makes is scrutinized, every move he makes is weighed against tradition. Diana would have undoubtedly seen the personal sacrifices he has made, the time away from his children, the constant public scrutiny, and the pressure to maintain the monarchy's relevance in a modern world. William has done his best to modernize the monarchy, pushing for change and trying to ensure that his children experience a more grounded upbringing than he did. But even so, he is still bound by the unspoken rules of the royal family, trapped in the very system Diana sought to shield him from. And then there's Harry, the second son, the spare. Harry's decision to step away from royal duties in 2021 was seen by many as a betrayal, a rejection of everything Diana had worked so hard to create for her sons. But was it really? Could Harry have been following his mother's advice all along, choosing to prioritize his own happiness over the suffocating expectations of the royal family? Harry's path has been one of independence, a complete break from the monarchy. He and his wife, Meghan, have sought to carve out a life for themselves outside of the royal spotlight. In doing so, Harry has taken the ultimate step of rejecting the royal system, a system his mother had always struggled to navigate. Could this letter, which urged her sons to find their own paths, have been the final push Harry needed to walk away from everything he had known? Diana's influence on her sons' lives cannot be overstated. From her radical approach to raising them outside the royal system, to her subtle yet powerful messages urging them to prioritize happiness over duty, Diana left an indelible mark on the future of the monarchy. Her legacy continues to shape William and Harry, even as they have chosen vastly different paths in life. Looking back, it's clear that Diana's letter was not just a final message from a mother to her sons. It was a blueprint for the future of the royal family. It was a call for change, a cry for freedom, and a plea for happiness in the face of overwhelming tradition. And now, as we look at the way William and Harry are living their lives, one inside the monarchy, the other outside of it, we can't help but wonder, did Diana's predictions come true? And if so, what does that mean for the future of the royal family? The discovery of this letter has raised more questions than it answers, and as long as the royal family continues to guard its secrets, we may never know the full truth behind Diana's final wishes. But one thing is certain, her influence will continue to be felt for generations to come.